Yo, 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 yo. Thanks for checking out the channel. You guys are tuning into 22 Chaos Film Review. Today we're going to do really just an overview look of the AFC. We're going to see where the Patriots stand. Are they contenders or pretenders? We're going to do a little preview of this Ravens matchup. We're going to see where there's some opportunities for the Patriots to maybe exploit. I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a dogfight, but we're going to get into it. You know we do. Let's get smarter about football. All right, guys. So let's get into it. We're gonna do a little preview here. So we're gonna do an injury update really quickly. We're gonna talk about the AFC. Where the Patriots stand? Are they pretenders? Are they contenders? I think we need to have an honest conversation about that, and I might have to hold some Patriots fans' hands. I mean, I am a Patriots fan, but I'm gonna have to hold some hands on that conversation. We're gonna talk about the Ravens defense. They've been playing better of late. We're gonna see where they stack up and where they can present problems for the Patriots. And then we're gonna talk about the actual Patriots defense and can they bounce back with these injuries that we're gonna talk about here at the top of the show. And then to wrap it all up, we'll give a game prediction. And I also got a little spicy little thing that we need to talk about. Patriot fans, we need to talk about, and it starts with the G, and he plays on defense. So we're gonna get into it, man. So let's do it. Let's see here. The injury update so far. You guys may already know this, so we'll go over this pretty quickly. I know everyone's pretty much covered this, but Splain's going to be out. Baltimore is going to be questionable, but I think he didn't practice today. I think he popped back up on the injury report, so that's a little interesting. Then we got Davis that's going to be questionable. Marcus Jones, Harold Landry, and Christian Ellis. So I mean, that is a huge. That is a lot of people that matter on your defense that are going to be banged up. Spillane obviously being a little middle linebacker, being the one that calls the defense. He's been excellent in run support. He's been one of the better linebackers, I believe, and that's really, really one of the reasons why the Patriots had such a good defense as it pertains to the run defense is because Spillane being able to fill those gaps and get those tackles. Barmore, everyone knows we love Barmore. We're hoping for the best. You know, obviously last year he suffered blood clots and missed a good majority of the season. This year, I think Mike Vrabel's been balancing out his workload and giving and just doing the right thing by him, I believe, and making sure that he's able to stay on top of his health while also contributing and getting those reps in that practice that he needs. Carlton Davis, obviously our second cornerback, has really had some moments where it's not been so great, but overall he's been a really good corner. So not having him or potentially not having him at 100% could potentially hurt our chances, especially with the middle of our defense suffering right now. Obviously, if you guys know, Milton Williams on IR, he should be coming back soon. Hand to the man upstairs. Marcus Jones, our just Swiss Army knife. Guy's awesome. Really hope he's able to contribute in the slot because I don't know if we have a true slot cornerback. That's a little bit questionable with some of the guys on the back end of the roster. If you guys also remember, Alex Austin's also on IR. Somebody I had that I thought could really step in as that third, maybe fourth cornerback, and also playing like heavier sets in the run game. But Marcus Jones has been so freaking awesome, even in the run game in that nickel package. That I mean, he's just been awesome. So Harold Landry, really hoping that he can. I just don't know if he's going to get healthy by the end of the year. To be honest with you, I think he's going to need off season to be 100%. But he's got that nagging issue with the knee, so we'll see how it goes. And then Christian Ellis, I believe he was a full participant, but I don't think he's playing. Or maybe he is playing, but I think he's gonna have the he's gonna have the heaviness of the workload of being probably that blue dot linebacker, the one that's gonna be calling the plays and getting everybody set. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting defensively. So we'll see where they go with there. But let's go ahead and get into the first topic here. So let me see. Let's do this. Actually, look at me doing all kind of things. Here we go, and boom. So we want to. So are the Patriots AFC contenders? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Right now I don't see it, and I am a Patriots fan. So guys, understand I am a Patriots fan, but I don't see it defensively. We don't with Landry being out or potentially being hampered. I just don't know, and I think Chazon, I always mix his name up, but Chazon on the end as well. I just don't know if these guys are they're depth guys. They're guys that would be great on a championship contending team and they're coming in to maybe back up. Or even if they were starting, maybe there were some other pieces around them that also helped them maybe elevated even their ability to get to the quarterback or help their ability to get to the quarterback. For example, if you had like a guy like Micah Parsons, something like that, somebody that warrants like those double teams. But I think they've been okay. I think when you have Baltimore and Milton Williams and guys like Tonga in the middle that are eating up so much space and requiring these double teams, I think they've had some opportunities to really tee off on the quarterback and make some plays. But ultimately, they just haven't been the world beaters at DN. So we're gonna need some DN talent. And again, the AFC is wide open. I get that. I get that. But right, and every team is questionable with something. But in the end, I just think that I don't know if we have enough on the D line not only to get to the quarterback in crucial situations, but also too to really stop that run and really set that edge. I think we've had a little bit of issue with that. And as you guys, especially Patriots fans, would know, we saw Josh Allen scrambling to the right or getting outside the pocket constantly in dagger plays that really hurt the Patriots last when they played the Bills. So we'll see if they're able to clean that up. Maybe this is a knock on the door for Anthony Jennings to play. Jennings is really good at setting the edge. I don't know. I just don't think he plays enough because of his ability to get to the passer, but I do believe in run support. He's probably better. So we'll see how that goes. Linebacker core. Spillane is awesome, but I don't think he's great in coverage. Tavai is not somebody that I would say is a world beater at linebacker as well. I think because of our, I want to say lack of talent, maybe lack of speed at the linebacker position, in my opinion. I don't, it really, it takes away the ability for our cornerbacks to play as they should, meaning that we have man covered corners. But we have a young safety group and we have a linebacker core that leaves a little meat on the bone in terms of overall talent and ability. So it forces New England to be in a very zone-based defense. I think they're about 30% man, 70% zone. Is without being able to get to the quarterback with rushing forward, those zones are going to leave. Their zones are already naturally leaving holes, right? That's the point of a zone, is to leave an opening and hope the quarterback guesses wrong or doesn't see it. But when you can't get to the quarterback and you give the quarterback time to kind of scan the field necessarily, it just makes it harder to be a consistent defense. On top of that, as you guys already know, if you're a Patriots fan, we're not good in the red zone. Now, we prevent people from going to the red zone, but when they get in the red zone, guys are scoring at like 70% clip. So I just don't know defensively if we're enough right now to be a contender. I think offensively, the number one thing that we, in terms of is there a blueprint to beat Drake May? I think the blueprint is play man. Play man match, cover two man match, meaning that you're gonna have two safeties up top, preventing anything deep. And everything underneath is going to be the minute that a receiver runs to that area, a linebacker or somebody's going to match it and essentially play man. So I think that will open up Dre's ability to run, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to essentially win a playoff game. Drake's legs, you know what I'm saying? I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's doing his thing. He's on a trend, but I'm not sure that this offense right now is set up to beat consistent man. And Diggs, I think, they talk about him playing less than 50% of the snaps over the last couple of weeks. I think the reality is Diggs may be hurt. I think Diggs may be a little nicked up. I think he's powering through as a leader of the wide receiver team and really one of the leaders of his team. And I think he's playing hurt. And if I am correct about him playing hurt or something like that, then I just don't believe they have enough. I think Kayshon Boutte's an awesome receiver, but Kayshon Boutte's going to give you one or two spectacular plays a game. And I don't know if that's enough. And hopefully that's 14 points. But generally speaking, it's probably going to be a touchdown, you know what I'm saying? And maybe just maybe some really clutch, like, second and third down plays like that. But I just don't see it. So right now, I don't want to do a full breakdown in the AFC. I don't want to make this a 45-minute video. But I just think right now the Patriots, once they get back healthy, we can have a conversation about this. But I think just as this team is right now, again, I know the AFC is wide open. I just don't know if they're going to have enough when these teams are going to be willing to do whatever it takes to win a playoff game. I think that a lot of teams and a lot of good defenses that they played have been very, this is what we run and you're just going to have to beat it. But in the playoffs, I mean, it's everything's on the table. You know what I'm saying? 5-man fronts, bear fronts, all kind of things that you're going to see, disguises, different zones, different rotations, different defensive schemes and coverages. So not necessarily different, but more so that they're going to be ramped up and they're probably going to team defensively against the Patriots offense. These guys are going to pull out a lot of things that maybe they haven't done all season. Like, it's a desperation game. And I just think that right now, seeing that Drake is still kind of sluggish in the second half, There are things that can still confuse him. There are things that he's going to need to see more of, because he's only in his second year. I'm just not sure if they are ready to take the mantle just yet, take the lead for it just yet. I think that they're going to need another offseason too, and something that we're going to get into in a later video once I do a little bit more research on it. The Patriots are not in cap heaven. The Patriots are in cap hell going into next year, and this team has a lot of holes to fill. So, yeah, we're quote unquote ahead of schedule, but I think that as we get more into the offseason, we're going to be having a different conversation about are we actually ahead of schedule, or versus did this Patriots team just kind of benefit from the schedule and the fact that they just play sound football. You know what I'm saying? So like it's going to be an interesting conversation, but we won't get into it today. But I would say right now, I do not think that the Patriots are an AFC contender. I think they honestly probably are going to be closer to one and done than they are going to be making a run. So that's just how I see it. So let's get into the Ravens game plan. This is something that is going to make sense in the way that the Patriots called the game. I don't know. I'm just making up things here while I try to buy time to switch the screen, but let's do this. So let's just kind of go over a couple things. So number one, we talked about how the Patriots struggle with the man match. The Bills ran a lot of man match in the second quarter. I believe they also did in the first quarter or in the first half. I can't remember. I have a lot of films in my head, but essentially what happened is the Bills ran a man and more importantly man match, meaning that, like I said before, anytime a receiver, you may be in a zone-based defense like a cover two, but the thing is that anytime a receiver essentially threatens your zone, you're going to just man match him. It's not a be all. It's not a be all and all. There are plenty of ways that you can confuse that, cause confusion, and things like that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's actually do a breakdown of this Ravens defense. So they run man match. They run primarily nickel package. They're in 88% of the time they're going to be in nickel, so that's closer to their base. That's something that the Patriots do as well too. They are zone-based defense. They're about 70, or actually about 60% zone. Actually, I should say about 70% zone, 30% man. They run man a little bit more than the average team, which is again something we need to be highlighting for the Patriots because again, if you want to talk blueprints, it's going to be man defense. So they are comfortable in their man looks, but they're going to be zoned as well too. They spend a lot of time in cover one. They're really always trying to take away the middle of the field. The Patriots are a middle of the field team, Hunter Henry, seam routes, things like that. So they're going to be wanting to take away the middle of the field and make Drake make throw on the outside and potentially try to go over the top. But again, if they're in a too high shell, you're not trying to go over the top. You're really trying to find some space between the safety and the linebacker where those end breaker routes are going to be open. So the question that I have is. And I really shouldn't say question I should have is that, but the offensive line has been playing pretty well. I thought going into the season that Verdarian Lowe was going to get better. I thought that he could have actually competed with Will Campbell for the position, but again, when you draft somebody number 3 overall, I mean, obviously you're going to give them the green light to go ahead and go into the season as a starter. But I thought Verdarian Lowe had an opportunity to get better, and so far they've been great. I mean, they've been well. I mean, so. There hasn't been a really huge gap at all between Campbell and Verdarian Lowe in terms of pass blocking. I think Will Campbell, people smarter than me say he's better in the run blocking, but I don't believe that there's been a huge drop off between Lowe and Campbell in terms of pass blocking. So, offensive line, can you hold up? Can you hold up and let these routes develop downfield? Give Drake May the time to be able to see things. And Drake May, I need you to stop double clutching. Okay, I need to stop seeing patent ball. I need to stop seeing double clutching. The primary reason that those are issues, and I'm kind of tailing off into that, is because that double clutch is, first of all, him confused. I think that is a physical manifestation of showing that Drake May is confused. Not that I don't want him to show it. I just want him to be more confident in what he's doing and what he's seeing so that he's able to make those throws. Now, when he does double clutch, Drake May has a beautiful cannon of an arm. So really, even when he double clutches, it still seems like that pullback sling again. He can just flick that sucker. So he doesn't need a lot of wind up and all that to really get these throws down the field or into accurate spaces. But these are the type of things, and mechanically, these are the type of things that gets him those spray balls. You know what I'm saying? Like we saw with the out route to Hunter Henry in the Bills game, he just puts it a little behind him, and though Hunter Henry should have caught it, and had he to let him like Drake May normally does, then we would have seen him potentially get a first down to keep that drive alive. So just little things that are going to matter in not only tight games as we wrap up the season, but obviously going into the playoffs. So again, if they're going to be in a cover two look, cover one look, man match look, these curl routes, these comeback routes, these back these are going to be some very high level throws that he's going to need to make consistently against a defense that's trending upwards. And by the way, the Ravens need every single game. They need to go. They need to win out in order to make the playoffs. I'm not sure. I don't want to get into all these playoff things like that. That's not my field. But I believe, if I'm correct, they need to win out in order to get to the playoffs. So the Ravens are going to come in with they're playing. I would say playing with house money, but they are going to come in ready to go. And so defensively, like I said, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're a very good defense. I think it's gonna be on the Patriots to find a way to beat them and not the other way around. So that and I think that honestly right now I'm not sure. I'm not confident. I haven't really studied those that I trust and listen to. They're not as well confident. And when I say those, I study and listen to. Talking about, I do have some blessings to be connected with some people in the Boston sports media who I trust and they analyze the game as well too. And so it just the overall opinion right now is that I don't think that the Patriots are. I don't think the offense is necessarily better than the Ravens defense. And that, or even if it's a wash, then okay, it's a wash. But now let's flip the other side of the ball and talk about the Patriots. The Patriots, as we already mentioned, are not good in the red zone. They have a containment issue. We cannot run man because we get exposed at the linebacker depth, and we struggle covering tight ends. And if I'm correct, I believe the Ravens have two tight ends, or at least one for sure, that are going to present problems. Actually, yeah, two. They're going to present problems. And so what I worry about, and something that we've worried about with this defense all year, is can they cover linebackers? And now, if you're going to have, well, assuming that our cornerback group it plays, even though they won't be healthy, now you have a question. Now you have a question on your hands. Do you play man on a guy like Zay Flowers and essentially across the board and allow and essentially require that Lamar Jackson is timely with his throws, accurate with his throws, in sync with his receivers? The reason why I say that is because we all know he's hurt. So my thinking is that on the film it looks like he's hurt. I don't care what the status report says. I don't care what he practices or doesn't. I can see, but watching the film, that Lamar is only really able to run in a straight line. His straight line speed is still respectable and commendable, but he does not have the juke ability. He is not making people miss. I think there's a statistic out there that was like essentially like he just isn't making anybody miss. I don't know what the percentage is off the top of my head, but it was like he's not making anybody miss in the first, especially that first tackler or even like just being touched. He's pretty much going down. Primarily reason why he can't cut on his ankle. That's a reality of the situation. I think that his ankle is actually bothering him or his leg is bothering him. So, do you play man across the board and make him beat you throwing the football, which is something that he naturally wants to do anyway, even though we all know he's a phenomenal runner. He wants to beat you throwing the ball. So I would play that chess match and say, okay, let's do it, because he didn't have a great passing game against the Bengals. I thought he was able to hit some timely plays. I thought that really, truthfully, they leaned on their run defense. So now you have a question of, are we playing man on the outside and stacking the box? Are we stacking the box in the zone? How much are we flipping in and out of those type of coverages? Are we trying to look to confuse him? Or are we just going to play man up and say, hey, Zay Flowers, Gonzo's going to be your partner tonight on this game, and he's going to follow you if you go to the bathroom. Carlton Davis, who is he going to be lined up on a tight end, and have a physical matchup? Is he going to be able to do that knowing that he's coming off the injury report? So I think that defensively, it feels close, and I'm kind of processing this in real time, but it really feels closer to a wash on both sides of the ball for both teams. I think these teams I know record is record, but I think these teams right now, for where they stand, injuries and just where we are in the season, I think this is a pretty balanced matchup where it's going to come down to simply who wants it more. The Ravens offense runs a lot of counter. Okay, they are always pulling their guards, they're pulling their tackles. They want to wrap you, they want to bind you out, they want to create funnels for their running backs. I was about to say K Michelle. Mitchell, their second string running back, though he hasn't had a great season, one of the things that immediately popped off to me is that he is Travion Henderson like. He has the probability, I should say, that if you're running a basic counter, it can go 4 yards or it can go 15. it could go 25. So I just think that between the two running backs that they have, the two-headed horse that they have at running back, obviously Derrick Henry. Side note, Derrick Henry and Travion Henderson are I think it's actually Jamar Gibbs and another other running back, but they essentially have like 4 touchdowns with like runs over 25 yards. So Derrick Henry obviously is not only going to pound you down for 4 yards, but he's going to try to wear you down and then go pop that one for 30, especially later in the football game. The Ravens also run a lot of zone, zone based blocking scheme, meaning that they're trying to get to the edges. Henry can be out dangerous in space, just like I think Stevenson can be, for the Patriots can be dangerous in space. Like, I'm saying, granted, he's not Travion Henderson, but I think just having a bruising type back that's actually getting a little bit of ability to kind of space out and then run downhill, I think there's a lot of value to that. I think that's what makes Derrick Henry so awesome is that he can do it on the inside or the outside, and then he can outrun your fastest defensive player. So this Patriots team is going to have to really keep Baltimore behind the sticks. Not first downs, but what I'm saying on first and second down, they're going to have to make sure that it's 2nd and 8. You know what I'm saying? That it's 3rd and 8. It's 3rd and 7. They have to keep the Baltimore Ravens behind the sticks because I think that this Baltimore Ravens offense right now is going to be predicated on working down the field. I don't think they have a lot of big play ability in them. Zay Flowers is a big play receiver, but I do think that Gonzo can take him out. I need Gonzo to wake up. I don't think Gonzo is playing bad. What I think more importantly is happening is that Gonzo is in a defense that I still believe doesn't really work for him. I'm going to get to that later in the show. I want to preview that. I want to throw that in there. But I just need him to really be on his SHIT this game because I think he has an opportunity to really remind folks like, oh, yeah, this is Gonzo. We have a Gonzo. We have a lockdown generational talent on our defense, and we need him because our defense right now is very hampered. So let's see if he can do it. Let me jump up here. I forgot some of my talking points here. So, I guess we'll go right back into the last one. So we'll talk game predictions. So that was a quick overview. I know I rambled there. I know I said a lot. But let's actually talk about what I actually think the score is going to be. And then I want to piggyback off that Gonzo thing. And then I'm going to call it a day. And I'll see you guys this weekend. We may go live this weekend watching the game. I'm not sure yet. But basically, I think that this game is going to, I already talked about what the game is going to come down to. I honestly think this is a 21-17 game. I'm going to go for the Patriots. I think everyone's kind of picking the Ravens. I really want to believe in my team, and I really don't want to go another week with them losing. And I don't really want to I don't want them to lose because I don't want to hear what the national media is going to say about this team in terms of fraudulent. Again, do I think they are contenders? Not yet. I want to see them re-healthy again later in the year because you just never know what's going to happen to these other teams. Obviously, the Colts lost their quarterback. They're out. The Chiefs are out. The Ravens could potentially be out. The Steelers are not the strongest. So, there's an opening here, but I just think that we need to be healthy in order to exploit that opening that we see in the AFC. But I'm going to go 21-17 Patriots over the Ravens. I think Drake May needs to have a bounce back game. I'm going to say that there's not a huge schematical breakdown that needs to happen right in terms of this game. I think this is going to come down to who won this more. The Ravens are desperate and the Patriots need to get back on track. The Patriots are trying to not only show the world, but they need to show themselves that, hey, we got punched in the mouth and we can throw a punch back. Yeah, it's different if it's quarter to quarter or drive to drive, but right now they got fully punched in the mouth. Okay, for all of our track runners, you remember the days on the 4x1 and that third leg's coming and he hands it to that fourth leg and that fourth leg is running and there's somebody in the lead and you know your guy's passing, you know your fourth leg is a fourth leg for a reason. That's what happened to the Patriots. They got walked down. That's when the crowd goes, yeah, that's what happened. The Patriots got walked down, but they have a chance with the Ravens to punch them in the mouth. Who wants it more? I think the Patriots are going to want it more under Mike Vrabel. So we're going to go 21-17. And last but not least, the Patriots, like I said before, I'm not going to get into a cap situation, but I think this is something that was told to me and I need to regurgitate it in my own way. The Patriots are not in a good space cap-wise. No one wants to have this conversation except the people that watch film, but I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a conversation about Gonzo. I don't know if you're going to make Gonzo the highest paid cornerback in the league in this defense. This is a over 70% zone defense. Gonzo is a press cover man, and he's not valuable to me, even to me as a corner, and I love his game, and I love everything about him. I don't want to see Gonzo an off man anymore. I don't. It makes me want to throw up. So I think at this point, they need to have a conversation. I think Gonzo's team is probably going to want to have a conversation as well, too. I think that Gonzo is a missing piece for an insanely good championship team next year that could pretty much take them over the top. I'm just not sure if he matches this defense, primarily because, again, we talked about the zone, and Gonzo could fetch you 2 first-round picks. I truly believe Gonzo could fetch you 2 first-round picks. And depending on when you get them, those could be huge for the building blocks of not only this Patriots defense, but getting a talent on offense. And so, again, those are things that we can talk about. You guys can leave a comment and tell me I'm crazy. We can talk about it more. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video with some film breakdown on that. But that's just what I think. I think that the Patriots, again, they have an opportunity here to really bounce back. And this is really going to let us know where they stand in the AFC for real for us as we wrap up the season. So, anyway, thank you guys for checking me out. You guys are a blessing. I thank you so much for the YouTube views, TikTok views, everywhere you guys have found me, people that know me, people that don't, the love that you guys have shown me, the Facebook groups that I'm in that have welcomed my advertising. I thank you all so much. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I try to post weekly. I definitely will post weekly, whether it's the Patriots. Maybe I'll do some film breakdowns of some hot games that were around the league that week. But again, thank you guys so much. Blessings.